the scenario was a magnitude 7.9, 1906 type earthquake. And so these are the incidents that were created using SpotOnResponse and being shared through usage to all the other partners out there. And we have a lot of information about SpotOnResponse. We have documentation, and we have a YouTube video, so I'm not going to go into any of that. I just really want to give you a tour of the data and how it was used. So first of all, to get oriented, here's me. I'm sitting over in Hayward. And so let's see, let's zoom in. And when the earthquake happens, incidents are going to start being reported in from all over. People look out their window, they're going to see something, they're going to start reporting in, and that's how some of these pins start showing up on the map. And now, as a liquefaction earthquake geologist, I'm going to go try to figure out where I should be going to best use my time and talent. So, if I wanted to head back, I live in the city, so I'd want to head back. So, if I start looking at, let's look at some of these Walgreens incidents, I can click on the icon, and it'll bring up information about that facility. It shows, the status, no power, damage level, none. I can try some other ones. Here's closed, no power, but this one says damage level moderate. So already I know that, this is an incident that I don't need to go visit because there's nothing that I, as a geologist, need to respond to. I look at some of these other ones. Okay, now here's one that says, Walgreens is closed, there's no power, and there's heavy damage. So already I've learned something about the situation. And these, of course, Walgreens, it's a pharmacy. This is one of our partners in private industry. And certainly after an emergency, medical supplies and prescriptions, those are going to be things that are really important people are going to need. So this would be a location that would be a high priority in terms of need, and also it's a place where I can go and do something useful. So that's one. Let's see, let me go and show you some, PG&E incidents. So I'm opening up our filter here, and I'm going to filter. I'm just going to show just PG&E incidents. Now I've changed my view a little bit. So all I want to see now, instead of all the pins on the map, I just want to see the PG&E incidents. And you can see I'm down here, and some of these pins are showing up are red. And that means that those are near me, and these are things that I could get to efficiently, quickly, and could probably report in on. So I can click on that, and I can find out, okay, this is something I don't want to look at because it's a power outage. So, and they're warning to stay away. So that's also information. We want to direct clearinghouse partners, stay out of the way of emergency responders. So having that kind of information is also really important. So that's some of the information out from PG&E. And if I go over here and I click one of these incidents, I can even get more information. I can click on that, details. And you see it even gives me, shows me where I am and how to get to that location. And there's just some information about that. And let's see, how about, let's see, why don't we, I'm going to go back and turn off my filters so I can see everything again. Okay, so I'm going to go up here to check on this one. This is the Oakland Fire Rescue Staging Area. This is one of our emergency response partners. And if I look at that incident, bring up a little bit more information, there's also information about a chlorine leak, and they've come up with a plume model, and I can see that. And if I click on the pin there, then I can also see information that, that they're developing about this model. So our different partners are contributing different types of information. We all have different roles. We have different responsibilities, and you can see there's a variety. The information that is being reported in reflects those different roles, but it's useful to everybody. I need to know that as a geologist. Stay away from that area, even though there's probably some landslides I want to look at. It would be safer to stay out of it. So that's another way that the information is being used. Let's see. I also want to go to, let's go over to Treasure Island here. So here's an incident. We have, it's a geotechnical incident. This is liquefaction. Okay, so this is my bread and butter. This is something I would be interested in. So if I were out here when the earthquake happened, I would look around and using the mobile tool, spot on a mobile device, either a phone or a tablet, I can create this incident and I can share that information out. And then so then I want to go and maybe go back to San Francisco. And when I'm on my way, I find out, oh, well, the brand new bridge is functioning, but the on-ramps and off-ramps are closed. So I'm kind of stuck out here. Now, in the old days with the clearinghouse, when the clearinghouse first started, to be able to share information out, I would have to actually make my way to a physical clearinghouse location and bring my notebook, my paper notebook, and draw my maps and put those on the wall. So it could be, at the end of the day where that information would be getting out. Whereas now we can use the mobile tools, this new technology, and even though I personally might be stranded out on Treasure Island, I can still share that information out. I can still provide useful information about what's happening around me, even though I can't get to a physical location. So that's where the concept of the virtual clearinghouse is really important to what we're doing. As I mentioned, these incidents come in from our different partners, and you're going to see more about that. But I can also create an incident. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually create one on the fly for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use set location, and I'm going to come in here to, let's see, Fifth and Bryant was an area that was heavily damaged in 1906. So I'm going to set my location there. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can see it. And then I'm going to use the green button, and I'm going to say it's an incident, and it's ground failure. And I'm going to call it, and I'm going to do a spell check there and submit that. There we go. So that was successful. I can close that out. And it's going to refresh. And now you can see that incident that I just created just shows up there. So that's a way that I can create information. You see my location changed, and so the pins that are red changed. So before I was down in the South Bay and the pins around me down there were red, and now I've moved up to San Francisco and it's showing the pins around me in San Francisco that are nearby. So USIS also collects information from other sources. Some of it's done automatically. So for instance, one of our partners is, we have the NASA JPL, and they have a lot of products that are created instantly after, or almost instantly after an earthquake. Find that incident. They have models that are generated when the earthquake happens. A shake map is generated by the USGS, and that triggers data products produced by the NASA team. So I'm going to show you a couple of those. Just zoom out a little bit. So for instance, let's go to the tilt map here. Main shock tilt map, and I hit that, and now you see, whoops, whoa, zoomed in a little bit too much. So this is showing displacement vectors from the earthquake, and here is the trace of the fault that ruptured. So that's, and you can still see the incident soon, so you can overlay layers of information. So that's one. Another one that I can show you. That was from the eDecider team, and the NASA, let's see, the ARIA, let's try the main shock interferogram. This one here. Let's show that one. There's another one. So this is another one showing relative displacement. So for those of you who aren't familiar, this is the Pacific plate. It's moving north relative to the North American plate. So you can see that the movement is different on both sides of the fault. So again, that's really useful information showing, the deformation, patterns throughout regionally, which could, is important for our partners like DWR who have water conveyance structures. So they need to know, how is the regional deformation going to affect their structures. And then we also have some static information that comes in. So we have, for instance, let's see, one of our partners is the California Department of Public Health, and they manage water supply information, and so they provided some water boundary data. And you can see, it's a little bit hard to show it to see, but there are these polygons, these beige polygons, but I can click on that, and I can see information about it. I can see, what the local district is, where the information came from, contact information. So again, that's really useful information. Reports come in, you can see that information overlaid on top of the information that's being provided by others. So all this is happening at the same time. Everybody's submitting this information at the same time, and we're able to use it. With earthquakes, there are aftershocks, and that can change the situation. So this instance here is Del Val Dam, and so I can click on that and see that there have been several updates. So somebody went out and visited this location, and they provided an initial report and saying that there's a breach in the dam, so they posted some pictures of it. And then over time, they've gone back, and you can see now that that dam failure has progressed. So now we have an update of what that situation looked like. And you can go back again, and it actually has failed. So you can see progressive. You can go back to locations, and you can keep updating it, and everybody has a much better understanding of what that incident looks like through time. This is just a brief overview of how the clearinghouse is using these tools and this information to help us respond to earthquakes.